Welcome back to the Side by Side podcast. We're your host, Brandon.
And I'm Dimari.
Here we engage in meaningful conversation in hopes to create unity and diversity by enlightening and inspiring minds, one question at a time. We do that by bringing on two strangers each week to show we have a lot more in common than meets the eye. Today we have Chaz Hodges and Dawn Robinson on the podcast. Say what's up.
Hello, what's up? Hello.
This is the hot girl segment. Hot. So anybody that's only listening, you are doing a disservice to yourself. You want to get over to YouTube and watch this episode for real.
Yes, sir. Very nice to have you ladies on with us today. So we're looking forward to talking about bunch of stuff. But we like to kick it off with a little segment that we've been doing called This or That. And Dimari's going to fire out some questions. You're just going to choose between whatever this or that he throws at you. So here we go.
This or that. Kylie or Kim?
I'll go with Kylie.
She said it very reluctantly.
Exactly. Who you got, Chaz?
Kylie.
Okay. Riz?
I don't really know much about him. I guess Kim.
I know. Okay. Love it. City vacation or beach vacation?
Beach for sure.
Yeah, I'm going beach.
Ooh, my younger me would say beach immediately, but now I'm starting to lean towards city.
So which one is it? Old man?
Right now, city vacation, just because I'm coming off that spring Euro trip, which was awesome.
City life. Sparkling water or spring water?
I'm going to say sparkling.
Dawn, go ahead.
I'm going to go with spring. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to go
What you got, Riz?
Sparkling all day. You know I love my water loose.
You do have an exorbitant amount of sparkling water. It's kind of weird. It really is. Batman or Superman?
Definitely Batman.
Definitely Batman.
Absolutely.
Okay. Absolutely. And we'll get this, I guess, when she comes back, we'll get hers. But makeup sex or morning sex?
I feel like makeup because you have so much more to prove.
I love that. You have so much more to prove. What you got, Riz?
Makeup.
The makeup joint?
Yeah.
All right, so I'll just give mine, and then when she jumps on, if there's enough time, we'll get hers. The Kylie Kim one is a tough one, honestly. I really don't know. I guess I'll choose Kim. I don't know.
I guess it depends your generation, right? Because if you're into the Kardashians, you got Kim's more like, I guess, our generation, just a little bit older, and then Kylie's like the Gen Zers, you know. So I don't know.
I mean, I feel like they both dominate this generation, regardless.
Yeah, true.
But yeah. I don't know. What you got, Dawn?
I mean, it was just when people give you choices to make and then you're just not interested in either one. That's where I was with it.
Yeah, I know.
That's how I feel too.
That's exactly. I mean, that's how I feel when I came up with it. But I was like, hey, someone's got an opinion somewhere. I definitely got to go with the city vacations, though, bro. I'm on a city vacation all day. After a day or two at the beach, I'm extremely bored. I got to go with spring water, of course, Batman, and I think I don't know, morning sex is kind of fun. It's kind of exciting. I mean, it's just like a pleasant surprise.
Who doesn't want to start their day off on a right?
Yeah, it's like I didn't know that was happening.
It's the morning breath that gets in the way, so that's what threw me off.
The morning breath gets in the way.
See, as a person who brushes my teeth multiple times a day, my morning breath is pretty good.
Yeah, that's but you're like one of one. Like, boy, bye.
You gotta keep mints on the bedside table.
On average, morning breath be morning breathing. Okay, like no.
All right, man. So we got you here right now, Dawn. I'm gonna do rapid fire round.
Okay.
Okay. Kicking out the gate. Jeeps.
You're asking like which Jeep is my favorite?
Yeah, first word. No, first word that comes to your mind when I say it. Yep.
SRT.
SRT. Interesting. Wow. Relationships.
Toxic.
Toxic. Wow, we got some material today.
Sounds like we got a Division fan in the crowd here.
What's that group, right? The R&B group?
Yeah. It just dropped his new album today, and I was listening to it on the ride home.
It's a one person or it's multiple people?
It's one dude.
Okay, I didn't know that. I saw. Did you see Sonder?
Yeah,
I think
Sonder
they dropped something.
One. Yeah. I checked it out. It's an EP. It's like 4 or 5 tracks. It's pretty good.
Is it fire or nah?
I wouldn't call it fire. I think they're.
He said it ain't no mystic.
I got to listen to it again. I got to listen to it again. I love my R&B.
I know you do. That's why I was like, I was like, damn, I wonder if Rizzo know about this.
I know.
I know you know. You be on it. Dawn?
Yes.
Makeup.
Sex.
It's coming. Still on the brain.
Yo, that is not what I expected. That is amazing. Lori Lightfoot.
Lesbian.
Just let it all out. Relationship, okay. And final one, Lil Durk.
Man, what?
I hope we get Dawn back.
Good.
I got some good ones.
Yeah. No,
I might have to ask them to you.
To Dawn, if Chaz, I don't know where Chaz is right now, but it's okay because I want to dig a little deeper into these relationships anyway. So I say relationships, you say toxic. Why?
Because I just blame like IG, like just the whole, just what people are interested in now, and it's like people living their lives off like what other people are doing and like memes and stuff. So I just think like overall, it's just toxic.
So what's wrong with Instagram and what's wrong with memes? You got a beef with memes?
It's not like a major beef. It's a mini beef. But like I just feel like people they be so. I don't think anything is really authentic anymore. I think things are just happening to just like people doing it for others and not themselves. So that's why it's like toxic to me because it's just not cool.
So when you say like people are doing things for others, like how does that translate to relationships specifically?
Like imagine if you and your guy like for normally like y'all just go out on a date to like a random.
Well, my guy is Rizzo, and we don't really go on too many dates.
You gotta get somebody better.
He's happily married.
Oh,
I know. He's married. I'm a side piece. Yeah.
Well, side pieces have so much fun.
Oh yeah, we got to get into that then. But I'm sorry. Please explain your.
But I just think it's
piece.
toxic because it's like, imagine if you and your guy, like, y'all just gone on a date and y'all go to like a random, like, authentic taco restaurant, and then like you'll go online and then you'll see that like your friend or someone that you're randomly following, like, oh, her boyfriend took her on a helicopter ride, and it's like, then you put this on your man, like, why you not taking me on a helicopter ride? And it's just like, it's toxic. Like, I just want people to do it. Like, do what you live your life, not like the life of others. Like, want more for yourself, but don't just want more because you want it because you see someone else with it or doing it. Toxic.
Yeah. No, I think that's a valid point. We getting some feedback right there. Who is that? Chaz came in.
Chaz. Hey, Chaz, can you mute? There you go.
Yeah, there you go. No, it's pretty interesting because I just saw something the other day and they were talking about this whole like push present concept, which I'm a fan of the push present. I like it. I think it's a great idea. She just brought you a new champion into the world. Get that girl something, right? Take her to Burger King. You know what I'm saying? So, so here's the deal though. But people were like, they look at the celebrities and they'll talk about like a push present, like, oh, she just had my baby, so I just bought her a Rolls Royce. And then you'll have like a guy who literally is making, $18 an hour. Like the joke was making $18 an hour driving an old Honda Civic with a donut. And they expect him to pay for, some crazy outrageous gift that's not within their means. And it's because of social media is influencing them, where it's like he should still be able to get her a push present, but something within his means, and she should be able to appreciate it. But it seems like no one appreciates that stuff anymore because we're more concerned with what celebrities are doing.
It's giving toxic. That's toxic. Like,
yeah. It definitely feeds the algorithm feeds into it too. It's like the algorithm's going to feed you the toxic material that if you click on one thing, then it's going to start sending you a million more. It's one of those.
It's super toxic. Okay. So Chaz is back. I want to go back to the this or that because I just got to get hers for a second. So we did the Kylie Kim, and then I asked city vacation or beach vacation.
Definitely beach.
Sparkling water or spring water?
Sparkling.
Batman or Superman?
Batman.
Nice.
Makeup sex or morning sex?
Ooh. Morning.
So you missed all of our answers because I don't know what you got. You got that. She got that same service as Tom. Sprint PCS. No, Metro PCS. Ain't that what you called it? She got that Metro PCS pack.
Right. That Cricket, that Boost Mobile.
That Cricket, that Boost service, that hotspot, that Cricket hotspot. So we just wrapped up Dawn's this or that. It got pretty spicy, but Rizzo, take the reins, man.
All right, so we're going to do word association. Chaz, I'm going to say a word. You're just going to say the first thing that comes to mind, all right?
Okay.
Let's get it. All right. Halloween.
Sexy.
Bonfires.
S'mores.
Love a good s'more.
Elvis Presley.
Copycat.
Okay, we're going to definitely get into that.
Got to.
True crime.
Dexter.
Oh, okay. We've got a Dexter fan.
Rizzo, look at Rizzo.
I'm feeling that. I love Dexter. And last one, witch hunt.
Salem comes to my mind, but I don't know.
Yeah, Salem witch trials.
Yeah.
Well, the Elvis Presley copycat. Can you expand on what you were thinking there?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's much to it. I just think that, he kind of stole a sound and ran with it, and people loved him for it.
I mean, do you have proof, or is this just speculation?
Can't hear me?
Oh, you're muted on that one. Yeah, there you go. What'd you say?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you. The only thing is that, there we go. The other one's back.
She said, I got options. I got static. You about to give Rizzo a editing nightmare this week.
So sorry.
We've had 3 consecutive weeks of just like nightmare edits for Rizzo, our poor editor. We need resources, y'all. So if y'all want to donate to the GoFundMe, we're trying to hire an editor so we don't have to have Rizzo like chopping out static all day because Chaz has 3 different profile shots.
Listen, I'm trying to stay on by any means necessary, okay?
Yeah,
I know that's right, girlfriend.
That. We appreciate that. All right, so Elvis Presley copycat. Okay, he said, do you have any evidence to support your claim?
You know, so I'm a performer. I did a show called Marie and Rosetta. Rosetta Tharpe, Sister Rosetta Tharpe, if you don't know who she is, they call her the grandmother of rock and roll. And so she was the first person to bring an electric guitar into the church. And so, yeah, she kind of like birthed an era of music and musicians. And when you listen to people like Johnny Cash or Elvis Presley, and even like down to Hendrix, like all of these people were imitating this woman. So it's not just Elvis, you know, but I do think that you have to, like, art inspires art. So you're inspired by things and then you kind of steal it and you morph it into your own, right? Because nobody is you. So that's why I say copycat.
So what about the claim that Little Richard created rock and roll?
I think that can still be true. I think she's just the grandmother.
And he the granddad?
Hey, listen, I'm all for, yin and yang.
Did either of you see the Elvis movie that came out?
I did. I love Baz Luhrmann. I think he's a fantastic, director. But it was really pretty, and I wanted it to get more into story. But that's just my humble opinion.
There's this great podcast called The Revisionist History. It's Malcolm Gladwell is like this famous author who does it. And there's an episode on one of the seasons. I think it's like the second season. He does an episode about Elvis. And it's really interesting. And the movie kind of touches a little bit on some of the stuff about Elvis. One of the things I learned in the movie I didn't know is that he kind of grew up super, super poor from like a black community. And so he grew up seeing the blues joints and the revival tents, and that's kind of where he got his inspiration to do music. But on the Revisionist History, they talk about how he was a twin, and the twin died in the womb, and he kind of like that affected his whole life, and so he always kind of had this like feeling of abandonment. And there's this interview with Laura Marie Presley, or is it Laura Marie, whoever his wife was. She said like that when they would like get together and like be together as like a couple, sometimes he would like black out the windows, and it almost felt like womb-like, she said in this interview that she gave a long time ago. And it was like he was almost like trying to recreate what he'd lost, that connection with his twin. And that was like her perspective, but it was really interesting podcast. And then it talks about the song Lonely Tonight, that famous song that he recorded, and how he did like hundreds of versions of it. And every version that he did, it was the only song he would like forget his words at this one point. And it's really cool. They like play some of the recordings where like he's trying to do the take and he keeps forgetting it, and he's laughing like almost hysterically to the point he's like crying. And it's really cool to go down this rabbit hole of this like history of Elvis, and it's really, really cool. So check it out if you get a chance.
I never saw the movie, Rizzo. I remember you spoke highly of it. From what I gather from you and like little reviews I read, like it seems like they basically made him into the victim. And I think to Chaz's point, this man is not the victim. This man was appropriating culture and his managers were cashing out on it. I mean, obviously he got famous, but he didn't get the bucks to come with it because he got finessed in the process. Yep. But he finessed the whole culture, and I feel like still to this day we see this happening over and over again. And we had, on an early episode where we had a celebrity historian, Rafi Andonian, on the show, and he talked about, Black Americans being the greatest export of America, across the globe. But we don't get the credit. Things don't really get popularized until, Elvis Presley comes in and does what he saw someone else do. And we saying we not here for it. That's what I'm hearing Chaz say. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm gonna have to side with that side by side.
Yeah,
I never watched the movie though. Just for everybody listening, I never.
Neither have I. I never even heard about it or seen that it was coming out. Actually.
Oh man, you've been under a rock. It was a big deal. Was it came out earlier this year or was that last year? Because it's
it came out. I think in the summer.
In the summer.
Is it on Netflix or Hulu or something?
You can watch it on HBO now, I think.
Oh, cool! I got that too. I'll check it out. Maybe I'll check it out.
Maybe. I mean, I wanted to support it, but I'm like, I don't know. There's so many movies I don't support, but that was very, very interesting that she said copycat. I was not expecting that one. But you also mentioned that Halloween was sexy. What makes Halloween sexy, Chaz?
I think Halloween is sexy because it is where we get to drop the guise of ourselves and step into being something else, and it's just this natural spooky witchy energy that is prevalent in the air. And then Scorpios are just hot sexy people, and we're in their season, so there's something just sexy about dressing up and being whatever I want to be and having a new personality.
Wait, Chaz, are you a Scorpio?
I am not. I
am.
Celebrate your season.
My birthday is actually next Saturday. And I am a sexy Scorpio.
My favorite. I love a sexy Scorpio.
Yes. I mean, Rizzo has a sexy Scorpio for a wife, right? She has a birthday in tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Cheers.
Oh my God. Tara said, hey, Scorpio.
Shout out.
Shout out to the Scorps. No, that's incredible. So, moving along, I guess, Dawn, we'll start with you, man. So just tell us a little bit about your upbringing. And you got some kids in the back here. We're going to take a break on you and go to Chaz. Okay. So, Chaz, tell us a little bit about your upbringing, family structure, and, professional career and how you got to where you are today.
Yeah. Upbringing, born and raised, Chicago, Illinois, South Side.
Gang, gang.
You can't hear me?
I said gang, gang.
Oh, gang, gang. Oh, good. Yeah. Gang, gang, gang. Period.
Gang, gang, gang. South side. South side.
South side, stand up. So, yeah. I was actually raised in Trumbull Park Homes, which is kind of like a housing project on the far south side of Chicago. Only child. My mom had me when she was 38. My dad was 8 years younger than my mom. I feel like I'm just trying to hit the hot spots because this is an interesting thing even for myself to see what sticks out for me. But yeah, my first day of high school, my sophomore year, my dad passed away when I was 14. I then became really close with my uncle, who I moved around schools a lot with him. He was a dean. So I went to 2 other high schools, and then graduated and went to school in California, a private institution in California, and then left there and went and got my master's in San Diego. And I'm kind of really thankful for like that time period in my life where I was like with my uncle, because I feel like he broadened my horizons. Like I was one of those kids who like never been past downtown. You know what I mean? And it really took him to like show me like, no, there's more. So yeah, and then once I got to California, I feel like my world was rocked, because it's like I'm from south side of Chicago, and now I'm in one of the like most affluent places in our country, which I lived in Thousand Oaks, California, which is, if you don't know it, it's right in between Calabasas, where Kim Kardashian lives, and like Malibu. So like now I'm going to school with kids who are like driving
where Kanye lives.
the class.
Just bought a new house in Malibu.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go. Yeah. And then undergrad was crazy, because I was like, coming from Chicago, it's like you rarely see, you know, different kids of different ethnicities everywhere. It's like mostly black. And then you go to being in school where you're like truly, you know, a minority. So navigating that was difficult, but I will say, I learned a lot being in a different space. And it challenged me, like groupthink got challenged. I think my religion got challenged in undergrad, and just like who I wanted to be, I was like face to face with the opportunity of that coming true in a very real way. And I feel like I seized the opportunity as best as I could. And yeah, so I double majored in communications and theater arts. And then I graduated, moved to New York, thought I was going to do Broadway, got into grad school, moved back to California, where I got my master's in La Jolla, California. And yeah, and then moved to LA and has been acting there ever since.
Okay.
So Dawn, just tell us a little bit about your upbringing, kind of like what family life and childhood was like for you, and then how that led to where you are today.
I'm gonna try to, make this short. But okay, I'm from Chicago. I spent like half of my childhood in Bloomington, Illinois, and then because it was like I was born in Chicago, then we went to Bloomington, and then I came back at like when I was starting like sixth grade or something like that, and we like my mom was a single mom with 4 kids. This is like a jaw dropper every time I say it, but my mother had me at 13 years old.
Wow.
Yes. But yeah, like we moved back from Bloomington.
By the way, just so everybody knows that's listening, Dawn is only 12 years old.
Bye. But yeah, so we moved back to Chicago. It was I'm the oldest of 4. I was a big sister, and like all of us are like 14 months apart. So I had like lots of responsibility because my mom was such a young single mom. So I had to do like a whole lot of like mothering stuff, like, cook, wash their clothes. I was basically like a nanny that was never paid, that they didn't have to respect either. And I think, and then now it's like, I'm in like early education, and I think it's from like just being a caretaker like early on. It's like I just ended up like doing that, like that's the field I'm in now. So I guess just comes from like watching my sisters and brothers and just being all motherly before I was a mother. And I just went with it, and like it's actually really nice. Like I actually like what I do. I like kids. I like being that first like educational experience for them, because I feel like the most important years of all of our lives is from like 1 to 5, and I get to like be with these kids and influence them and like give them like a solid foundation. And like the things that I hear back from the parents, like, oh, she's doing this and she's doing that, he's doing this, and it's like I'm just like, oh, okay, well, what I'm doing is it's making a difference. Like these kids are turning out pretty good. So I like that. But going back to when I came from Bloomington to Chicago, and I went to middle school at Horace Mann where I met Dimari.
Gang, 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 gang.
So yes, we have been friends for like 22 years or something like that.
Hey, don't put my age out there like that.
Sorry.
I was at the bar the other day. They guessed I was 23, so we running with that,
okay? I've never got number 24 ever. When people stop believing it, then I'll like say 27 or something like that. But for now, they still believe it. They still believe it. But I guess just like from being an older sibling, having so many siblings to look after, I just went into like the childcare profession, and then I went to college and studied education. I recently got a promotion as an education coordinator, so now it's like a little bit more important than just being a teacher. I have like way more responsibility, and I have like I still did that.
It came with a pay raise, didn't it?
A big one.
A big one. Well, I heard of one of our sponsors, Black Swan Financial Group.
Yes, I'm well aware of that. But yeah, and then as far as like that, like has influenced me, and then but let me tell y'all, I took care of all those people, and I had to worry about all those people, but like nobody was worried about me. So I kind of like grew up being kind of like reserved and angry.
Mm.
And
you said reserved
luckily,
and angry?
I'm not a felon. Yes, very reserved and angry. It's like I didn't want to like. I just didn't want to open up to people. It was like I was always used to like helping others. I would never allow someone to help me. So it was like whatever I was going through, I just like suppressed it, let it pile on, and then like when it would just blow up, I would just like curse people out or physically harm them. but I never got into like any serious trouble. Like I'm not a felon, you know what I'm saying? Like it's nothing like that. I've never been on house arrest. It was never that deep.
So you just never got caught.
Toxic.
Yeah.
Toxic relationship.
It was toxic. But yeah, and then, I just feel like now I'm just this sexy Scorpio, and like the things that I've been through, like you would never believe it because I just like overcome like so much. And, if resilient was a person, it would totally be Dawn. So yeah.
Love it.
Love that.
I used to think resilience was me. If you looked up resilience, I would show up, but it would actually be a hybrid of me and Dawn.
It's been updated. It's just me.
Dawn, so being that you are around kids all the time and that you take care of so many of other people's kids, is that something you're looking forward to doing yourself? Do you have kids or do you want kids in the future?
I am a mom, and I actually want more kids, but I don't know. I love kids, like they're cool, like, but I only like the ones that are the ages 1 to 5. Everybody after that is like whatever. But yeah, I kind of like the.
What about your kids? How old are they?
They're grown.
Grown.
If I tell you my kids' age, then you're gonna know my age, and I'm 24. So next question, Michael.
You're only 1 year older than Dimari?
Right, exactly.
No, chapter closed. Age chapter closed. But no, Rizzo, I'm a mom. I love being a mom. It's like it's really nice. Of course, it's like overwhelming or whatever, but like just taking care of kids or just being around kids and just, I don't know, it's just always been my thing. It makes me feel happy. Like I could be upset, I could be tired, I could be whatever, and then it's like when I go to work and I see all of these kids, like it just totally changes my mood and I just forget about anything that I was doing, and I'm just like happy and ready and eager to, have some fun with them and teach them some things that they can tell somebody about on the podcast when they're getting their 20s.
That's wonderful.
You know what I just thought about as she said that? I was like, everything that she just said would be so creepy, I feel like, if a guy was saying those exact same things. Like, guys can't be like, oh, I just love kids and I just want to hang around them, and when I get around them, they just bring me excitement. Like, whoa. It's a double standard.
Nah, sure.
Jeffrey Epstein ass. Yeah, it's different out here, man. It is different.
Whoa, Dimari. Did I hit everything? Wait, Rizzo, did I miss anything? Did you like? Cause
no, that's great. I think it's really cool that
you got it on.
Get to make such a big impact on those kids, and that it's such a part of your life, and that gives you energy and joy, and that's beautiful. I think that's awesome, and it's something to definitely like cherish in our day and age where, you know, I feel like our age has definitely been brought up with a mentality of like, you know, wait to have kids and that whole thing, which is good too, but like it doesn't make it one right or the other one wrong. You know, it's like your life is your life, your path is your path, and if you are called to be a mother or a father, then that's a beautiful thing. You know.
It brings me up to some advice that I received from my cousin when I was younger, which I feel like Dawn's mom clearly got this same advice. He told me, he's like, bro, if you're going to have kids, you need to have them at like 12, 13, because you won't have to take care of them. They'll take care of them for you. And then by the time you're like 25, they're already like big kids, and you can just hang out and play video games with them. It was really great advice. I didn't take it because I looked at his life and it was nothing like what a life that I wanted to lead. But I'm pretty sure he's like, I don't know, how old am I? So he's probably like, I don't know, let's say 37, and his son is like 27. Like, it's
that's
like crazy, bro.
It's
nuts.
Bro. I don't know about that.
I don't know. No, I'm not endorsing that. But you know, Chaz, you were talking about religion and how it you went to college and it basically influenced different perspectives. So you were telling us a little bit about before how you were brought up, what you were experiencing during school, and where you are now. Can you just kind of re-summarize that?
Yeah. Wait. Huh? Before how it was brought up. Okay. Yeah. Before how it was brought up, I was brought up Hebrew Israelite, and that guy and then in school went to a Lutheran university.
So, Chad, sorry to interject, but a lot of people don't know about the Hebrew Israelites. Like, I only know because I lived in New York City and I would go to Harlem and they would be like outside screaming like crazy things, because there's a lot of extremists with these people. They're like, all you white people are going to die. You're going to hell and you're the devil. And I'd be like, yo, I just got off the train, bro. Chill. And then I went to London and I was in damn, what is this? I think it's Shoreditch, maybe. What?
Yeah, that's Shoreditch.
I was just sorry. Go ahead. I'll tell you my story in Austin.
You got a story? I want to hear it. Then I think it was Shoreditch. Is that where the black people are? I'm drawing a blank right now. It's like hella black people in this neighborhood that I'm.
Shoreditch is the east side of London. Yeah, I mean it's kind of like the more multi-ethnic part of London.
It's the hood, and now it's being gentrified. So I was there. And because I got to go to the hood everywhere I go. You know this about me, Rizzo. So I went, and they were right there, like, as soon as you get off the train, bro, like, with British accents saying the same stuff. It was like I went through like a time vacuum, and I was like, what is going on? They're like, all you white blokes are going to die. You're going to hell. You're Edomites. You're all Edomites. And I was like, bro. And I was with 4 white people the whole time. So I was like, oh my God. And they're looking at me. I was like, please don't say anything to me that's going to be embarrassing. Like, why am I with these people? Oh my God, I'm sorry. So like, just, I'm sure that's not the entire organization, but can you educate our listeners on the Hebrew Israelites and what that is exactly?
Yeah, it's crazy that was even a thing, because I didn't know that it was that extreme. Like, the way in which we do it is almost like a sect of Judaism. You know what I mean? Like, you kind of like follow the slaves, the black slaves out of Israel, right? Because for so much, it's like we are separated, right? And it's so weird because I feel like Kanye is trying to say a lot, and it's just all being crazy right now, right?
Problematic. Yeah.
It's so problematic. And yeah, you follow the slaves out of Israel. So it's like, we keep high holy days. Like, I kept the Passover. We are kosher. I kept Sabbath day, like, sun up, sundown. My mom would not cook.
And when do you acknowledge Sabbath on what day?
On Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday. Sunday is just the first day of the week.
Mm-hmm.
So, Constantine changed the calendar, and then it changed to Monday, and so that's why we now have Monday as the first day of the week. But in actuality,
Moon day.
Yeah, it's Saturday. On the seventh day, God rested. The seventh day is Saturday, right? So, that's kind of like, I don't know. It's like normal stuff. I feel like people learn, but I realize it's kind of big. But I feel like whenever you talk about a group of people, like, it just gets, I don't know. So many things get weird. Like, I don't know. Mm-hmm. I've never come across, and I've like been going, to, I guess, church my whole life with Hebrew Israelites, and I've never like had anyone scream or yell at a white person. You know what I mean? Like, mm-hmm. It's just really interesting that those people take it to the extreme, because that's not how I grew up at all.
Very, very extreme. I mean, so we talk about the tribes of Israel. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Kendrick Lamar has a line. He's like, "I'm an Israelite. Don't call me black no more.
I ain't black no more. That ain't facts no more."
Right. So that is how I see it. It's just kind of like a very awakened, black individual. But
yeah, I was in Austin, and I was driving down 7th Street one day after work, and
in Austin they have Hebrew Israelites, bro?
Yeah, this was a recent, like, 2 years ago or a year and a half ago.
Oh, I can't wait.
I was driving home from work, and I was going down 7th Street, and there was a crowd of extremist, like, black Hebrew Israelites, and they were standing on the corners saying stuff, and I was in the lane closest to where they're standing, and so they were like 10, 15 feet away from my car, and I pulled up to the light, and I had my windows down because it was like a nice day. I had my music on, and I like paused the music because I was like, what's going on here? There was like a group there, and there were like homeless people across the street, and it was just like a whole bunch going on this corner. And they were like, I thought the dude was going to jump in my car and stab me. It was like that, like, aggressive. And it was like, he's looking at me, and I didn't say one thing. I just like glanced over, and then all of a sudden he's just like, every racial slur possible you can call a white person or whatever. But
he called you a nigga?
That's another callback to an earlier episode of the podcast. We had my buddy Mo on. He's a Chicago guy, and he was like, "We're all black professionals here," and I was like, "Thanks, Mo. Appreciate you."
I was just trying to see if he calls you a nigga, bro. All right.
No, it's definitely the white variety. I don't even remember. It didn't register just because I was like, all right, man, I'm out of here. It was definitely like a very aggressive energy, not sticking around for it.
No, those guys, like, I've met some very militant, very well versed in, very militant, very like well versed in the scripture. I would say, like, they really, look at the historical context as well. Look at the tribes, and honestly, like, a lot of stuff has been whitewashed, so I totally get their message. And there's been a huge disconnect of like black people and where they come from, because our history in America starts in shackles, And so they just want to like educate people that that's just not facts, that there was a lot going on before the 400 years of slavery or whatever.
Right.
But some of them can be pretty extreme from what I've seen just in Harlem and London, and what you experienced in Austin. I didn't even know they had black people in Austin, so I definitely didn't even know they had Hebrew Israelites.
They definitely have black people in Austin.
I got to start hanging out on 7th Street, man. Go holler at the guys.
Gang, gang. No.
Gang.
Well, I think what happened was when I ended up going to school, I started to question, in this philosophy of atheism class. And I mean, I no longer identify as Hebrew Israelite. And I feel like as extreme as we have all of these stories about the Israelites, that's how religion just seems to me in general. Like everything seems so extreme that we're like literally like, I'm this thing and in this thing we do this and these people aren't allowed and this means this good thing. Because even Jehovah's Witness think they say 144,000 people are going to heaven. So that means you sit next to Sister Thomas and you don't think she's fucking getting in. Like, why would I want to be a part of it? Like, that's terrible.
Poor Sister Thomas. She's not.
Poor Sister Thomas. She ain't making it because it's only
Sister Thomas.
12,000, because that's a real sister. You know it is. It's only 12,000 of each of the 12 tribes are going to make it into heaven according to the scriptures. So you say you no longer identify as a Hebrew Israelite. What made you decide to disassociate yourself with that organization, and what do you not agree with that organization?
It wasn't necessarily just the organization. It's organized religion as a whole I don't agree with. Like, I just can't get with it. And I think because even being in a family that had varying viewpoints, I was just like, this is a little silly. Like, Grandma, you're not going to call me on my birthday. You're going to call me the day before and be like, I was just thinking about you. No, you weren't. It's my birthday. Birthday. Like, you're not just thinking about me. Like, I'm about to be older. Like, just do it. Or
that was my greatest pet peeve about the JWs is like, why don't you celebrate birthdays? We had a girl in our school, Patricia. I don't know if you remember Patricia. I don't remember her last name, but she's a JW because I had to pull her to the side. I was like, why do you wear these long ass skirts? Like, you are 14. Like, what is wrong with you? And she was like, man, my grandma JW, like, da-da-da-da-da. I was like, oh, okay. And we were cool. She couldn't wait to get out that house because I'm pretty sure she like twerking on Instagram somewhere right now. But she was like, she couldn't wait to care less about a JW. Right?
She went all the way the other way.
All the way, bro. She might have 3-4 kids by now. Ain't no telling what that girl's doing. I don't know what's going on. Nothing wrong with having kids.
She probably named them Jehovah.
Probably, she named them after the tribes or something. I have no idea, right? But she was a cool person, and I just wanted to understand because when it was her birthday, I feel like it was in like September. It'd be like the beginning of the school year because I'd just like bring candy or a cupcake or something just to be like, I know it's your birthday type. And she always thought it was cool, like something basic, a zebra cake or something like that, right? But she always appreciated it. We have our co-founder on the show is also JW, and he was just kind of like enlighten me on a lot of what goes on. A lot of it, like, I can get with because it brings like discipline and structure to people's lives. But to your point, it becomes so it's just so many doctrines, and it really gets in the way of the spiritual aspect, and it becomes like a set of rules and guidelines to live by. And it's just like, bro, that's not how you're supposed to live. But you brought up something. You brought up one of my favorite people of all time, Mr. Ye, formerly known as Kanye West. And you said that he's bringing up some stuff and he's trying to get a message across, and it just isn't working. What message do you feel he's trying to get across at this point?
Ooh, okay. I've been, because Kanye is one of my favorites too. Like,
Shy
I
City.
love Kanye. I don't know if I per se know what his message is, but I don't think it's as dark as the industry, entertainment, or people are trying to make it out to be. I do think that he's just a cog in the machine, and he always has been in every sense of himself. Kanye is being true to the Kanye we've always known and loved. Even back when he was like, George Bush does not like black people. Like, he's always spoken out and been very polarizing, but yet galvanizing. Like, it's like a car crash you cannot stop fucking watching. And so I respect irreverence and irreverent people. So I think it's great to have somebody who's just not like going along with like the way we think we should be going along in this world. We need to challenge our thoughts and beliefs here and there. I don't think that we should be mean to people or call anybody out, but like, yeah, I don't know what the message is, but I fuck with that.
Do you think Kanye knows what the message is?
I think Kanye is doing what he feels called to do, and sometimes that's all you can do because life doesn't make sense going forward. It only makes sense looking back.
So I know when I was growing up with Dawn, who she said we've known for 20 years. I'm 23. And so, but I'm really intelligent.
You guys knew each other when you were toddlers.
But we were already in 6th grade because we're geniuses.
Okay.
Came
Makes
from
sense.
the same South Side that Kanye came from, and they just birthed geniuses over there. And so I remember growing up, she was like really big into Kanye Omari West. So, and then it changed over time. She would say, "So, like, what's your stance on Kanye and all of the antics that he has these days?"
I think that Kanye is suffering from some cognitive delays, and I can't really, I don't really have much comments on him. I just don't. I mean, I hate that everyone says, like, I feel like it's kind of insensitive. Like, they feel like, they were saying he, like, lost it a little bit after the passing of his mother. And I know that can, like, change you as a person, especially if you lose a parent, like, when you're an adult, or you know what I'm saying, because it's like you really have experienced this person, and it's like when you're a kid and you lose your mom, it's like you kind of got like a whole lot of growing up to do. So like I feel like you can adjust better, but when you lose a parent as an adult, I feel like it just like it can maybe change you because you have experienced so much more of that person and they're just gone. But I just don't think that he has like all of his sense. Like I do not think that he has it all. Like honestly, coming from a teacher, like, where I have to look at kids and be like, hey, I think, he's on the spectrum. I would say that Kanye is on the spectrum.
For sure. Definitely on some type of spectrum.
So whatever he's doing, like, yeah, I can't really judge his actions because I just feel like I don't feel like he really, I don't think, there's some delays cognitively, like that. That's just why I close it at.
I mean, I think we all probably experience some type of cognitive dissonance, but I think we are all blessed and fortunate to be alive in the same era as Ye and get to experience genius. This man is standing up to the Roman Empire the same way Yeshua did, and this is why we call him Jesus. She said,
"Okay, that's a little too much."
Call it what you want.
Yeezys right now, hey,
call it what you want to call it, bro. At the end of the day, there are people that stand up to the powers that be, and generally, it doesn't end so well for them. And this guy just keeps doing it, and I don't know. There has to be some type of cognitive dissonance to be this level of genius. You have to be crazy. You have to be stupid. Like you have to be to a certain degree because it's like they will end your life. Right now, they're playing with his livelihood and obviously playing with his money, and he's still like, I'm not going to back down. Whether we agree with whatever he's trying to convey or not, to be that like resolute in what you believe is just admirable to me, and to do it on the world stage.
So
Yeah.
You don't think that he's like going a little bit overboard though? Like, do you feel like he's abusing his platform though? Because I mean, I hear what you're saying, but I think that there's just like, I think it's a little like
I
dramatic.
think that he understands how to use media. But go ahead, Chaz.
No, I'm in agreement with you. What's the point of having a platform if you're not going to use it? And then, like, we gave him the platform because of who he is, and now we want to take it away because of who he is. It's like, well, which one is it? And then if he's on the spectrum, aren't we all? Like, isn't everybody on the spectrum of something? Because when I was practicing Hebrew Israelite, people are like, that's crazy. Damn, you can't eat Skittles. And I'm like, no, bitch, because it has and a pig is thought to be unclean, so I can't eat a Skittle. I can't have a Starburst. And people might have been like, man, that's a little fucking weird. But it's like, that is what I believed in that time frame. You know what I mean? And it's like, now that I'm older, I'm looking back like, oh, okay, that's changing. And I feel like maybe Kanye will go for it and look back and be like, oh, I really am happy I stood up for what I believed in. Or he'll look back like, damn, I should get this a little bit differently. But at the end of the day, I don't feel like it's coming from a malicious place. Like, I don't look at Jay and be like, man, he's such an evil character. How could he ever?
Yeah, I don't think he's evil. I do not think he's evil. No.
I think there was
I think he's
an
dramatic.
interview
Right.
with Lex Friedman. I don't know if you guys follow that podcast, but Lex Friedman's podcast is amazing. Lex Friedman's awesome. Like, just what he does is crazy. He's a really smart dude, and he has an awesome podcast. He interviews a lot of interesting people, and the way he interviewed Kanye, he interviewed him with a lot of, like, you know, grace and respect, and let him kind of say what he wanted to say, but he challenged him in a very, like, meaningful way. And I think my takeaway is that, like, Kanye is not fully educated in what he's saying when he's saying it, and he's generalizing. And the problem with generalizing, I think what Lex was getting at, because Lex is a Russian Jewish person, and his family had people killed in the Holocaust. And he was challenging him, like, when you say things like all Jewish people are this or whatever, that's what's the problem. And he's not calling out the people that he's talking about individually by name. And he's like, look, if you're a real man that's saying what you're saying to your word, you would call these people by name rather than calling them by their label or whatever tribe they belong to, because that might not even have anything to do with what they're doing and who they are. But when you say it that way, it injures all these other people, and it's not even like this is just a recent thing. This is like history has always done this to this group of people, so that's why it's even more amplified. And I think Lex did a good job of kind of trying to, you know, get him to specify what he's saying.
Yeah, I would agree with you, Rizzo. I feel like Ye is definitely not informed and definitely does not read. I feel like he's totally led by spirit and just like people around him that advise him, and then he'll hear like a little thing and then be like, I'm about to just go say this on TV or tweet this right now. And he doesn't even know about it. That's definitely a thing. But I feel like that's what makes him him, and that's what shakes things up and at least brings people to the conversation. As far as like the Lex Friedman thing, I thought he did a great job. I thought he, to your point, like definitely allowed him to speak, but he's not very like well versed in what he believes to a degree. But the thing is, for me, is it still very much substantiates what Ye was saying on the episode, which is, you know, you say certain things about a certain group of people and like it's totally okay. You can talk about black people. You can say nigga this, kill a nigga that, do that, blah, 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 blah. No one's going to come cancel me for saying nigga on this show right now. But if I say a different word on this show, show's getting canceled, my livelihood is over. And this group of people, yes, they suffer, but we're talking about 500 million black people have suffered in a period of time. We're talking about Congo. We're talking about Firestone Rubber. We're talking about German companies, French companies pillaging Africa and taking the resources and buying 1 million acres of land to create rubber Firestone. All of these resources are in Firestone. Belgian chocolate. There's no fucking cocoa trees in Belgium. It comes from Africa. And they took people's land and killed people in the process, and nobody talks about that. It's okay. And so Black lives matter only if a white person says Black lives matter, but Black lives clearly don't matter to anybody. And so when you go and try to compare, 6 million people that died in a tragic way, which is just terrible. It truly is terrible. But when you try to juxtapose that with people that are still actually living in poverty, living in the lowest conditions of life, killing themselves, other people are killing them. And we are, to his point, what he was getting across is 50% of black people are aborted, which was created by Margaret Sanger, which is allegedly quoted saying she came up with the concept that we don't need to kill them while they're alive. We need to treat them like weeds. We need to pluck them like weeds and get them before they actually sprout. And that is the whole creation of Planned Parenthood. And there's a Planned Parenthood in every urban community. So the fact that he's using this platform and speaking on these things and everyone's just like, yeah, but we don't care about that. You said you're going DEFCON 3. And it's like, well, the U.S. military is constantly at a state of DEFCON 3. If you look up what DEFCON is basically saying that the U.S. military is prepared to go to war within 15 minutes with any country in the world. They're not saying we're going to war. We're saying we're prepared at any given minute to have airstrikes within 15 minutes of any country that we have. So in Lex Friedman, he says it's the equivalent of saying, I'm not punching you, I'm just flinching, and I'm saying like, oh, I'm about to hit you. And everyone's like, boom. JP Morgan says, take your $140 million. CAA agency, biggest agency in the world, cancels them. Adidas cancels them. Balenciaga, they just canceled the Donda basketball team from being able to play basketball at the biggest tournament that will determine if they go to the NBA. They just the top people from his sports agency just dropped from it. So every day something new. Allegedly, he just got kicked out of Skechers. So it's like, what did he say that was anti-Semitic? Because to be Semitic is Arab, Phoenicians, Canaanites, all of this different group of people. And we talk about Muslims, Arab Muslims on TV all day and call them terrorists and all of this stuff. And no one, the Anti-Defamation League doesn't step up and say, oh, this is anti-Semitic. So you're picking and choosing a group of people to choose and say when you're being anti-Semitic. And I just don't support it personally. And the fact that he's standing up and other people have stood up in the past and they've all been destroyed. And he won't back down. And I'm like, damn, Ye, this man is crazy. So Ye might be dead. I don't know, bro. But I feel like he's ready for that if that's what comes. I've never seen anything like it in my lifetime. The closest I've ever read about it is Jesus. Like, that's the closest I've ever read it. So I do make that comparison of Yeezus and Jesus because, I mean, this dude's a billionaire. He was a billionaire last week, and now he's not. And he could be living a sweet life, just being on a beach, being rich, doing what rich people do. But he's out here fighting for what? It must be something. It can't be something that he just made up in his head. But the media is like, no, he's crazy. Mm-hmm. Make it make sense, y'all. What you got, Riz?
Spends everything. It's living in Hollywood is crazy. Because you could literally see something with your own eyes and then see it again the way that it's reported or the feedback that's given on it. And then it makes it something completely different.
They put the spin on it. Then they create the narrative. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you spent time in Hollywood. Like, what were you doing out there?
I mean, I was acting. So industry, you know what I mean? Acting, teaching. I was a professor. So, I mean, yeah. Very artistic, creative life. Love living in Los Angeles. Like every second of it. Absolutely loved it. But
I love the crossover.
Secret alley. Oh, go ahead, Reza.
I was gonna say I just love the crossover that it seems like both of you have some sort of realm of like teaching kind of within your story, and that's another one of the kind of overlapping things we try to pick up on the podcast that we don't know about ahead of time, and I think that's pretty cool that kind of was one of the things that overlap.
But it might be that time, Rizzo.
Yeah.
It might be that time.
I got one for you, bruh. All right, so we got an allegedly question.
We have a segment of our show, the allegedly question. So this is all allegedly.
So we definitely want to get your thoughts on this, being that, I'm sure we talk about on social media a lot and stuff, and our day-to-day and our lives and how it affects us. But so let me just move this here. All right, so question is, this week, Elon Musk officially took over Twitter and allegedly this morning or yesterday let go of many top leaders who were responsible for the company's programs and policies that ban and suspend members who violate the Twitter rules and laws of Twitter or whatever. Do you think Twitter is going to get better under Elon, or do you think it's going to get worse? We'll start with you, Chaz.
I think Twitter is Twitter, and Elon is a part of something that was already withstanding, which is why he wanted to buy it in the first place. So I don't really understand the way in which he's going to impact Twitter. I feel like Twitter is for the people. So we come to Twitter and we say what we want. Unless he starts to police what we say, then, he can, again, that's the media being like, hey, this is the narrative that I want to have out. Elon doesn't approve of this. I can no longer tweet this. But, for the most part, you can get on Twitter and say what you feel.
Well, I think that was the issue. That's the intrinsic value of Twitter. But the powers that be before Elon bought it were censoring people. They kicked off the 45th president of the United States off the platform, which is unprecedented.
And there's a lot of things, just that aside, there's a lot of celebrities and people who have a moderately decent following who, try to speak truth to power in various ways or whatever, and they get followers removed or filtered out. And so I think one of the things that kind of led Elon to do this is that he wants to try to fix it and make it so that it's not one of these things that's doing these kind of seemingly covert, under the radar, questionable practices and taking people offline and taking their voice away. And it's a private company or whatever. They always use that justification, right? But I think his mission is to try to make Twitter a more kind of what it intended to be type of platform, what the Jack Dorsey founded it to be. And so I'm just curious if you think he will be successful in that, or if not, maybe.
I feel like if he's buying it, and then if that is indeed his mission, I think that's awesome. I think we need so much more of that, and clearly the world is moving to that, to the point where we are thinking differently, and we have more reach than we've ever had before. It's social media, for a reason. We're here for the conversation.
Yeah.
What is the point of having all of these platforms if we're not going to really get to the nitty gritty of it?
Yeah. Right.
And so, let me hear what's going on, in Austin. Let me hear what's going on in New York. I want to know about what it was like for your mom, at 13. I want to hear those tweets. I want to retweet it. I want to like it. I want to have interesting conversations or debates or whatever about all of those things. Yeah. That's what, we didn't get put on this earth by ourselves. Right. So I just always so confused when people get so mad about varying opinions. That's what we're here for. You're here to be expanded because somebody else didn't think like you or wasn't raised like you.
Yeah. Right. That's powerful. And that's what we try to do on Side by Side. That's we want to challenge each other. What are you going to say, Riz?
No, I was just going to say, Dawn, what do you think about this topic?
Actually, I have no knowledge of it, so thank you guys for sharing today.
Welcome to Side by Side.
Do you use Twitter?
Yeah, I just learned. No, I've never even, had an account. I don't have, Twitter and Don, they never met.
Well, that's the thing is social media has gotten to this point where I think a lot of people feel it's so acerbic and so negative that they just turn it off, they delete it, and I think that's a good thing, that there's a movement of people that want to not have social media accounts anymore and like get us back to in person, like what we're doing now, talking to each other in a more, realistic way where we have conversation and we can disagree on stuff. And, I don't agree with Dimari all the time on stuff, and we have civil discourse about it and we challenge each other. And like, I think that's healthy. We've had a better friendship because of it. And I think people get scared of like, oh, what are these people going to think? Or am I going to hurt their feelings or whatever? And that is a valid thing to be afraid of. But, I think we need to give people the benefit of the doubt and, assume positive intent and all those buzzwords that we hear at day jobs and give people that benefit of the doubt,
Yeah, I think it's like ultra important. I think Twitter has like a great intrinsic value, which is, when you go back to, say pre-Twitter or just the 80s or 90s, if I had a scandal, I would then have to hire my PR person, my publicist, and they would formulate a statement, and maybe they would do it with me or without me, and then it would go to the press and it would be released. And it may not, that actual final press statement may not be what I actually said in my home, but that's just the story that everyone is going with. And there was always the in-between person, the mediator, which was the press. And Twitter allowed people to surpass the press and go straight to the masses. And that's the intrinsic value. And then we saw that right was taken away from people because they didn't agree with whatever the powers that be wanted people to be thinking at that period of time. And that's very dangerous. And we've seen historically in any society where you suppress and censor free speech, good things don't come out of that. And sometimes people are going to say things that don't coincide with how you feel. People are going to say nigger. They're going to call you a nigger, bro. And for me, I'd rather be called that and know who you are than to have that censored where you can't say it. But don't worry, you can say nigger on the internet, guys, but you can't say DEFCON 3. All right. Moving forward, here we go. You said something, and I want to close up here. But one of the things that you talked about earlier, and Chaz was still connecting to that cricket hotspot, so she missed it. we were talking about toxic relationships. So we did the rapid fire with Dawn, and we said relationships, and she said toxic. And so she went and she explained, like, yeah, crazy, right? Chaz, facial expression. It's like she said that was the first word that came to her mind was toxic. So what's your stance on relationships, Chaz? And like, I mean, are you in a relationship? I'm single, by the way. I just wanted to put that out there, Chaz. I've been trying to talk to Chaz for some time now.
Relationships. Yeah, it's a lot to relationships. I feel like one of my favorite poets, his name is Miles Hodges. We have no relation because my last name is Hodges. He says, the only thing I hate more than love is not being in it. And I feel that about relationships. Like, it just looks so good. You see all the black love accounts, you get all the people that hit on you. It feels great. And then you get in it and you're like, how the fuck do I do this? And I think I'm starting to take it from like, people are always like, dudes ain't shit or our generation sucks, blah, blah, blah. And I'm really just looking at myself, not in a relationship at the moment. I've had some great relationships, but yeah, relationships are tricky, are dicey.
Tricky. So Dawn, where are you at? Where are you with the relationship?
Like, I want to be in a
I be dating guys and stuff and like going to eat
I
sushi.
date, I make them pay for my food, and I leave.
Okay, so I do like ghost people, but I'll let you know. Like, Yeah, thank you for this, lovely
For this
dinner.
expensive
But
Nobu sushi.
I no longer like. I just let them know like this is it. Like I'm not interested in like anything further with you from this day.
Damn.
And
Ouch.
I mean, I let them know, like, I don't feel the need to, like, lead people on, or what they say when you're an attractive woman. They, like, automatically say that you're a heartbreaker, and it's not that I'm a heartbreaker. It's just, like, I feel like these men are adults, so I'm just, like, straight up with them, and I'm just letting them know, like, thank you, I had, like, such a good time.
So why go out on a date in the first place, Dawn?
Because I was hungry, and he was asking. Like, what are you talking about?
I gotta do a soliloquy. No, I gotta do a soliloquy right now, gentlemen. If you've made it this far,
not that you haven't done enough soliloquies.
Well, this is a different soliloquy. If you are this far along in the podcast, sir, stop being a simp, okay? Stop it. Just stop it, bro. You're better off going on Twitter, beating off, and going to sleep, okay?
No, absolutely not.
Dimari, you blocking my stuff. You
blocking my $80 sushi from Nobu.
Come on, man.
No, but I have to block that because I do like. I was like, "What's your type, Chaz?" I'm like, "I like who likes me," and people will be like, "I can't believe you went out with such and such." And I'm like, "Yes," and I think that it's a big deal if you step up to me, you ask me to go out, or you ask me for my number, I'm gonna go because I think I'm a big deal. And if you think I'm a big deal, then we got the same pay. So like,
we big dealing.
I respect it. I love the big deals. Keep on making those big deals.
What a Scorpio!
Yeah. Come on now, and in that big deal, you may woo me. And if I'm a woo, then well, damn.
Okay.
But if I'm
man, no, if a woman is interested in you or not. You know this.
True. Okay, hold on now. Slow down, ladies. Now I approach y'all. I'm like, boom, boom, boom. Let's go out. We go to dinner, right? What are you looking for? What qualities are you looking for that's going to say, I want a second date and maybe I could potentially see myself with this person? What are you looking for?
I'll go first.
Let's get it going.
Okay. Of course, we all like it's the physical attraction. Like that's what gets
subjective.
There. So mainly, what get guys in the door with me if you're tall, you're dark. Whole lot of tattoos, Dimari. But that'll like get me there. That'll like that'll draw my attention to you. And then it's like once I go out with you, like how's this conversation going? Like are you intimidated? Are you being nice? Are you being rude? Are you being too touchy? It's like a whole bunch of like knockoffs, like or red flags, and it's like automatically like I just be knocking off like, okay, yeah, I literally hate him. Like I could be in the conversation, I could be so nice.
But I'm gonna finish this meal though.
Yeah, I got this poker face. Exactly. Poker face while I'm eating that food. And then it's like later on when he texts me and stuff and like, hey, so yeah, did you have fun? You want to go out again? And then that's when I let him know, like, actually no. And then like some people get upset and then others will be like, why? And then I'll just let him know, like, I don't like guys that don't have good relationships with the females in their family. Like if you don't have a good relationship with your mother, your grandmother, your sister, whatever, like that's a red flag for me because I'm like, you don't have good relationships with these females that are your family. How's that going to affect your relationship with me as a female? So it's just like little stuff like that I can just like snatch from our conversation, and I don't even have to touch it. It's just like I'm setting it in like, yep, he's not the one.
Damn.
And then I just got that poker face and I'm eating my sushi and I'm just smiling and being beautiful, and
taking pictures for the gram, not tagging him in it.
Never.
These girls are diabolical.
I mean,
you can't even see his plate. It looks like it's a solo.
Rizzo, are you simping for these ladies right now?
No, I gotta say, I gotta push back, Dimari, because you have your own little like essay you give people where you ask them a few questions and
they gotta make it to that point. I don't just give it to them.
Yeah.
True. But it sounds like Dawn's formulated her own system for dating men. And
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of
money, though?
systems
Why you gotta spend my money?
over goals.
You asked me out. You invited me, like, but I don't say like right away. It's a no, like, hey, yo, let's go out. No, I gotta send you off like twice because then I'm like, okay, he really likes me because he's still trying, and then I'll go.
Wow.
It's never like yes on the first. It's never yes on the first try. Like, no.
Gotta juxtapose this, Chaz. What do you got?
First off, you spend the money because you want to experience it, right? You pay for anything else, that's an experience. I am the experience that you are paying for my time.
Experience.
And we don't have agreement.
I love it. This is great. This is rich.
While I'm sitting there, like, yes, I don't want you to, just be a ugg mug. Like, I want to be attracted to something about you. But, like, something big for me.
Ugg mug. She said ugg mug. I love it. It's hilarious.
Like, I had something going on. But I feel like for me to really be attracted, like, what I'm looking for is a feeling. Like, what is the chemistry like? Like, did you say something that made me think? Like, how are you handling me? You know what I mean? Do I feel safe? Am I comfortable? Is this fun? Is it relaxed? Like, I don't want a whole song and dance. I want you to be you, and I want to feel comfortable in the energy that is you, first off. And I like masculine men because I feel like I am a very feminine woman. So it helps me like, I'm ready here ahead of the game. And then, two, as I get deep into, like, dang, all of the men that I like, they inspire me in some way. Like, so in order for me to, like, be, like, long term with you, it's like, do you inspire me? Because if you inspire me, then I'm like, damn, I see Bae doing this. I want to do this, or I want to be a helping hand. Like, you're going to make me inspired to do more for myself because I see the way that you love yourself and the way that you love your life.
So can you give us some examples, Chaz? What inspires you to reach the higher you?
Yeah, like, if I think about, like, my ex, he's a writer, and I, like, saw him, like, we were together when he was sleeping on, like, an air mattress. But at the same time, he was, like, still really going for his dream. And he was, like, convicted in the fact that he was brilliant and he was going to sell scripts. And now he does. Like, he writes for Netflix. And it's just, like, I got to see him before he got there. You know what I mean? He wrote Intergalactic. I don't know if you've seen the show on Netflix, the Kid Cudi joint, but that's his thing. So it's just, like, I am super inspired. And I told him, I was like, I'm really proud of you. And he's like, because you started with me at the beginning of all of this, and I'm just like a kid from Queens hustling for whatever, like, you're like one of the only people who can tell me that. Like, he's like, it's one in three people that can say that, and you're one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that inspires me. I feel like it doesn't have to be that grand or that big because a guy will be like, well, I don't write for Netflix, right? Well, first off, if you feel intimidated, then don't talk to me, right? I'm not the girl, and that's okay. There's other girls, they don't feel intimidated.
So Dawn and Chaz, what are the big red flags, like big turnoffs where you're like, no, I don't want to see this at all?
What you saying, like while we're on the date or while they're approaching us?
On a date on a date and being with the man, courting the man.
Like automatically no. Wait, what? Courting the man?
Well, a man courting you, I should say.
Oh, I'm like, hold on.
My bad. I'm on my 22. I'm on 2030 time right now. It's 2030 where women go up to men and ask them for dates. Okay, that's where we're headed.
That would be nice.
And the women have dates.
Yeah, big ones too. What turns me off immediately, like I'll be looking at like small stuff like, do you have dirt in your fingernails, or is your breath like fresh? Is your like I'll be looking at people's teeth, and because like we see these pictures on Instagram, and like people post their best like on their page. So it's like when you meet people in person, like you really see what they are. Like a lot of guys that I meet, they'll be like, "Oh my God, like you're just as pretty on Instagram, as you are in person," and like they always compliment me on that. And then I'll be looking at them like, "Those pictures you posted was not the man I'm with here right now." I think that I don't say it, I just be thinking it, but like I get automatically turned off if I don't feel that your hygiene is up to par. Like Done. Over with. Can't even talk to you anymore.
I mean,
Okay, hygiene, big red flag. How about you,
100%.
Chaz?
Big.
I hygiene and everything. So like your spiritual hygiene, your financial hygiene, you know what I mean? Like your relationship hygiene, like everything has to be up to par. If any of that is dirty, then I'm good. Because where are we going with that? Like spiritually, if you don't believe in anything, then how can you even believe in us? I'm okay. You know, financially, if you don't develop a good relationship with your money and looking good, how can you leave? And like I'm good. If you physically are not taking care of yourself, like that's just not even, you're not going to be around me at all. Like I'm not non-negotiable. I think you start to see it as you talk to a person where you're like, oh wait, something about you is underdeveloped, and I'm not here to be anybody's mom. You know what I mean? I don't have no kids yet, and the person who I do have kids with, I want them to be on the same, you know, wavelength as me. So when we go forward to raise, you know, beautiful black babies, which I hope I have one day, I can have faith in my husband and you know, just our offspring in the world. We can make better people because we are really good. So.
I love that. That is huge. Rizzo, what red flags do you look for in a man?
He loves Kanye a little too much.
Oh my God.
And when I say a little, a lot. A lot too much.
A lot too much? Yeah, it's a big red flag for a lot of people, but I don't care. All right. No, this has been really great. The hot girl episode, I feel like it just bounced around to so many random places that we didn't know where it was going to go. But thank you so much for coming on. Chaz, if the people are looking for you, where can they find you?
You can find me living right. No, I'm just joking. You can find me on Instagram at Chaz, Chaz Shermil, my middle name, Shermil. Yeah, you can Google me, Chaz Shermil Hodges, actress. I'll come up. You can IMDb.
Let's go.
Chaz Hodges.
Go ahead, flex, girl. Go ahead. Dawn, if the people are looking for you, where can they find you?
Definitely not on Twitter, but you can find me on IG, D as in Dawn, Michelle with 2 L's, 1105. That's Scorpio birthday, November 5th. But yeah, and I got like a whole lot of pretty pictures on there, and I look just like I look right here. It's all real.
But this is all still virtual, so we don't know that you look like this in real life.
Oh my God, you'll find out. D Michelle, 2 L's, 1105.
Let's go. Rizzo, man, if the people are looking for you, where can they find you, my man?
If you're trying to find me, you can find me in good beer, in good company.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes. What is that?
Or at
Rizzo
Rizzo
Notice
Fields.
that.
It's one of my favorite breweries in Austin. It's called Meanwhile Brewery. It's a great brewery.
They got to sponsor the podcast at this point now.
We got to get them on there. We got to get it.
You got to take me, bro. Let's do it.
Manifest.
Well, if the people are looking for me, you can find me on Twitter. Okay. Retweeting crazy things, saying wild stuff at Judah Clan. This is true. I get busy over there, man.
Your tweet this morning made me chuckle at work today.
Which one? What'd I say?
It said something like, it's election season, time for a slave movie.
Oh, yeah, it's election season. You know what that means? It's time for a slave movie.
That's what Dimari said.
Yeah, because you know it is. It's time for a new slave movie. They've got to sensationalize it and get these black people with emotions stirred up so they can vote Democrat. All right? Here we go, though. But you can find us at SideXSide Pod on IG, SideXSide Pod on everything. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification button. What you got, Rick?
As of today, you can find us on officially SideXSide Pod on YouTube. We have the handle.
We got the handle.
We have the handle.
Handle.
Sweet.
I didn't even know we had that.
Yeah,
that's news to me. I didn't know that, man. Yeah, we winning. Hey, Hey, please share it and let people know because we be wilding out. We got our shout out to our intern Chase, man. He gets busy. I think he's the reason why we were able to get the official URL because he creates all of these shorts for us and gets them out there and they get views.
Chase.
So shout out to Chase, man. And until we're side by side next week, peace. Hi, I'm Dimari.
And I'm Brandon. Before the show begins, please subscribe, like, comment, and share with a friend.
This allows us to increase our visibility on the platforms where you listen and watch so we can continue to bring you quality content each week. Help us grow and we can grow together by enlightening minds one question at a time.
Are you a small business owner, young professional, or pre-retiree looking to grow and protect your assets but don't know where to start? With all the noise about stocks, bonds, cryptos, it can be hard to know what steps to take. Let Black Swan Financial Group help you so you can focus on doing what you're good at. Black Swan Financial Group is a telefinancial planning firm operating in select states nationwide. They're here to help you protect, create, and grow your assets. Visit blackswanfinancialgroup.com today to get your free consultation. Hey everybody, Brandon and Dimari from Side by Side here. Just want to tell you about one of our newest sponsors, Ease Web Development.
Ease Web Development specializes in building high conversion websites and marketing campaigns that take your business to the next level. They're the easy decision when it comes to marketing.
So check them out now at www.easewebdev.com. That's ease, WEBDEV.com. Now back to the show.